today. So, my name is Jason Lin. Today I'm your host for the talk. And we today are going to discuss about this issue of overpopulation in a world context, global context. Well, the reason is because recently, you might have realized that overpopulation is a problem getting serious, more serious. This is because as more and more people are born, we need more resources to provide to live, basically. And now we don't have the resource for enough people, generations in the future, as today. Today, we have interviewed several guests around the world, each representing a different profession group, including teachers, doctors, and even farmers, which hopefully will come up with their own solutions to this problem. Please enjoy.
There are many ways in which we can control population growth. But limiting population growth would be very difficult without a simple piece of technology called contraception. In places such as Africa, over 18 million births are unplanned. So the government needed to put the situation under control by introducing a family planning program, which would be provided to the locals for free. And an example of this being put into action is Rwanda. The government wanted to persuade families to have less children so that in the future they would have a better future and a better standard of living. Lots of women in Rwanda take this form of contraception where it's hormonal release capsules that are implanted inside a woman's arm. This type of contraception is effective as it is a hormonal control for the woman and lasts up to 5 years. This type of contraception is most preferable because most people don't have easy access to pharmacies as it would be far and hard to get due to the country's poor infrastructure. Contraceptive pills are easy and efficient technology, which have simple instruction for intake, and this reduces the need for surgical treatments such as abortion. However, 1/4 of women do not have access to contraception in sub-Saharan Africa. Therefore, this leads to undecided families. The government might not be keen to subsidize contraception. Therefore, it may remain expensive for the locals. In conclusion, I believe that contraception is an excellent idea, and there is no need to use aggressive policies to slow down birth rates, such as the one-child policy in China. Also, all we need to do is simply educate them with the simple technology of contraception, and this would make a big difference in the world.
Hi, I'm a farmer from China. I'm very glad to be here for an interview, coming from some distance back home. So, we are talking about the topic of population aging, right? Ah, yes, overpopulation. As a farmer in China, farming crops is my job. And actually, overpopulation is quite, if not very, beneficial to us in the short term. However, overpopulation can be disastrous to us in the long term. Why so? Well, China now has a population of around 1.3 billion, right? So if the population is growing, doesn't it mean our business will sell more? This will mean that over the long term, we'll earn more money. As the population grows much greater, the resources in land will eventually be used up. In that case, I would even lose my job. It doesn't really matter to me, actually, as I'm an old farmer who isn't going to live for too long for it to impact. However, talking about the solutions, there are quite a few that are attainable. First of all, we can promote China's one-child policy worldwide. One child per family is optimal. If the whole world adopts this, then there will be a drastic decrease in population. Yet, as a farmer, I would definitely like more profits, and a way to achieve this is for the scientists to develop new technology to increase the yields. The improved efficiency will result in an increase of production, as the same piece of land will be able to produce more crops on it. This means that not only we can earn more, we are also able to feed the growing population of the world. In conclusion, I think it is a win-win solution.
One of the solutions to population growth could be education. Especially in the less economically developed countries, education can be an effective way of limiting population growth. As seen in Kerala, India, the population is kept stable because education is a limiting factor to the number of children a family has. Being occupied with education, women can have children later. Statistically, the average age at which an educated woman marries is higher than that of uneducated women. According to BBC, women with education can reduce the chances of their children dying before the age of 5 by 40%. Hence, as infant mortality is reduced, women will not feel the need to have more children. Furthermore, education spreads awareness of issues such as population growth, and women will voluntarily have less children out of moral obligations or perhaps self-interest. Education results in families voluntarily having less children, and this removes the controversial aspect that, for example, the one-child policy in China would have. It is common for poor families to have many children, as child labor is an extra source of income. However, with education, parents of children will have access to better and more stable jobs, and again will not feel the need to have children as much as a poor family would. On the flip side, education is a costly privilege. In areas such as Africa and India, where governments and the population are poor or corrupted, it is difficult to finance a school because teachers must be provided with salaries, and children with stationery and a proper working environment and overhead such as rent. Moreover, if families are poor, it is difficult for them to send their children to school. Less children present within the house. Okay, edit that. Moreover, if families are poor, it is difficult for them to send their children to school. Less children present within the household means less workers, but an extra mouth to feed, as well as costs for the uniform or, if there are any, school fees. It is not certain that every educated individual will have 2 children or less, which is another con. Many families in more economically developed countries have 3, 4, or even more children, while it is not as common for a couple to have no children. And finally, education is time-consuming. To keep costs low, teachers might be volunteers, but volunteers are not as easily available. Also, as mentioned before, families have to give up an extra helping hand if they put their child into school. To conclude, I think education is an achievable solution. Among resources, wealth is also unequally distributed throughout the world. People from richer countries and cities, such as you or me, could be involved actively in charities, which is what Shatin College vigorously advocates anyways. Supporting the building of education infrastructure, such as schools, learning centers, and organizing the sending of learning packs to children in less economically developed countries. This will lead to a decline in the rate of population growth. However, as stated, it is not certain that individuals will choose to have less than 2 children, even if they are educated. This suggests that an additional solution must be required.
understanding of this issue around the world. And meanwhile, we have learned some solutions possibly from different professions. Well, we can see for farmers or merchandisers, definitely want to maximize the profit, and hence they are trying to encourage a way to earn more money while compromising for the environment. However, environmentalists might not think so. They might want to save the environment. Teachers, they have different solutions. Everyone. Because despite being the same race, being the same species, over different regions, different places, different people have their different points. And this results in a change of difference of opinions and solutions. After this, we have looked for some research online, and we hope we can show it to you so you can have a better understanding and we can happily end up the story. Thanks for watching TV